Libya's aviation sector is quietly preparing for one of the most dramatic comebacks Africa has seen in years, and the shockwave is coming from an unexpected place: a privately owned airline that many outsiders barely talk about. Buraq Air, once known mainly for shuttling workers to Libya's oil fields, has just placed the country's biggest passenger jet order since the 2011 revolution ripped the nation apart. Yes, after more than a decade of chaos, grounded planes, battered airports, and frozen ambitions, a Libyan airline is suddenly buying 10 brand new Airbus A320 Neojets and signaling to the continent and the world that Libya is ready to fly again. But what does this bold move really mean? And why now? The deal, confirmed through an initial agreement signed in November, is more than just a fleet upgrade. It's an audacious statement. Buraq Air plans to more than double its size, according to General Manager Izzeldin Al-Halouj, who told media outlets that the airline is preparing to stretch its wings far beyond its usual routes. For years, Buraq has operated a modest mix of Boeing, Airbus, and Embraer aircraft, serving domestic destinations and international flights to familiar neighbors like Egypt, Tunisia, and Turkey. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too risky. So why jump from that to a massive Airbus order that won't even arrive until 2031 or 2032? Isn't that a decade-long gamble in a country still wrestling with political uncertainty? To understand the magnitude of this move, you first have to know Buraq's place in Libyan aviation. Founded in 2002, the airline survived wars, airport shutdowns, militia clashes, and a fractured political landscape that would have destroyed most carriers. Unlike state airlines weighed down by bureaucracy and infighting, Buraq has remained lean, flexible, and quietly ambitious. And now it sees a gap big enough to fly an entire Airbus fleet through. Why? Because Libyans are traveling again, more than state-owned carriers like Aviation Airways and Libyan Airlines can handle. People want to go to new places. Business networks need rebuilding. Regional links matter more than ever. And private airlines are noticing the demand long before government institutions can even finish arguing about who controls what. But to appreciate the boldness of this resurgence, we need to revisit the revolution that stopped Libyan aviation in its tracks. The 2011 uprising, which toppled Muammar Gaddafi after 4 decades in power, was supposed to usher in a new era of freedom and possibility. Instead, the country broke into Eastern and Western administrations, with years of conflict that destroyed infrastructure, crippled the economy, and turned airports into battlegrounds. International routes collapsed. Fleets were grounded or destroyed. Foreign travel bans and sanctions piled on. The aviation industry became a mirror of the nation, fragmented, battered, and running on survival mode. Even now, Libya's airlines are banned from entering European Union airspace due to aviation safety oversight concerns. So how does an airline like Buraq find the confidence to make its largest investment ever? Perhaps the answer lies in the quiet shifts happening underneath Libya's political surface. Major fighting has subsided. Rival governments, while still divided, are coexisting with less open conflict. Travelers are returning. Workers are moving again. Regional diplomacy is thawing. And importantly, private players, not government bureaucracies, are noticing opportunity. Al-Halouj reportedly said that Airbus won the deal over Boeing hardly because of strong logistical support across Africa, training centers, maintenance facilities, spare parts hubs. In other words, Buraq isn't just buying planes, it's buying into a continental support network. So is this the beginning of a broader African realignment in aviation, where private carriers rewrite the rules while state airlines struggle to keep up? Buraq is not alone. Buraq Airways in Benghazi, another private carrier, purchased 6 Airbus A320s last year to grow its network. Meanwhile, government-run Libyan Airlines and Aviation Airways, once the stars of the Libyan sky, are stuck in limbo, unable to refresh their fleets, unable to expand, and often unable to operate consistently. Does this mark the end of old state carrier dominance in Libya, And could private competitors be the ones to reconnect Libya to the continent and beyond? The implications of Buraq Air's expansion into Africa and Asia are huge. New flights could revive Libya's role as a connector between North Africa, the Sahel, East Africa, and the Middle East. They could boost trade, tourism, labor mobility, and even diplomacy. Imagine Libyan businessmen flying directly to Addis Ababa, Nairobi, Lagos, or Doha without multiple layovers. Imagine African tourists landing in Tripoli for beach holidays and history tours. Imagine medical, academic, and cultural exchanges revive after a decade of stagnation. Air routes shape geopolitics. Could new routes give Libya a softer, more constructive presence across Africa and Asia? And could this be the beginning of Libya reclaiming a regional leadership role it lost to conflict? For Libya, which has spent years in headlines for war, oil disputes, and political standoffs, a story about airplanes might seem minor, but aviation is never just about planes. It's about national confidence. It's about whether a country believes in its future. And right now, Buraq Air is acting like a company that sees a future bright enough to invest billions into. That alone says something powerful. In the end, Buraq Air's massive plane order is more than a business deal. It's a sign that Libya may finally be ready to move from isolation to integration, from turbulence to takeoff, from survival mode to long-term ambition. And the question that lingers is simple. If private airlines can imagine a future where Libyan skies are open and busy again, how long will it take for the rest of the country to catch up? Your perspective matters. What do you make of Buraq Air placing Libya's largest passenger jet order in a decade? A huge boost in the revival of the country's aviation industry. Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.